Hi, everybody. We're just trying this again, strike two. Good morning and happy Monday. And let's see if we can get Michali on. Okay, Michali, now I see you. I invited you, Michali. Let's see if that works. You like the vendor? Thank you. It's cold Monday.
Hi.
Michali, how are you?
Good.
1 second.
So nice to see you.
Likewise, let me move back so you can see like my whole face.
I
Okay.
love your bun. That's
You like
a great look on you.
Oh, yes, it's cold
Oh,
Monday
I
here.
see someone commented. I'm not the first person to compliment your bun today.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, do we still have, how many minutes do we have with
We have
you?
55 seconds. It's plenty of time, obviously.
Okay,
No, we have like 10 minutes.
amazing. So you go. Let's read the question and let's hit it.
Okay. All right. So I feel like this is so a you question, Faye. Okay. It's any assistance for working towards falling asleep, so much anxiety with going to sleep and can't.
Totally. So okay, clarity is a completely selfish endeavor. I just choose the question that I need help with.
No, I feel like you're so good at
Oh,
this.
really? No,
I'm gonna take notes.
I'm very passionate about these things because like it happens to be that going to sleep on time is something that I still struggle with, and like I think that I also in the past have struggled with like getting enough sleep. Like I was very like overly conscious about that, and like releasing that anxiety, like releasing that kind of like pressure of like I need to get 8 hours really helped me. But I think like I'm very much like, yes, it is very much my type to be like, how can I make this like structure that's going to help me? And it's something that I always do with everything. So you're right, it's definitely up my alley, but it's something that also I'm like excited to hear what you have to say because it's something I
Oh
still
God.
struggle and
So this is this is hard. It's hard though because so I know not everyone has this like general policy, but when it comes to like actual therapy in my sessions, like I generally won't touch things that like I myself haven't like mastered enough of. And this, I just like full disclosure, this isn't an area of my life where I feel like I fully mastered. I totally get, for me personally, it's like I have so many things I want to do. And it's so hard to get myself settled because I'm just like my soul is just like, but I want to do this and I want to do that, so it takes like complete sheer exhaustion for me to actually fall asleep. But um, I think that, okay, I would, for the question, I would tease out two different things,
yeah.
the anxiety and the sleep. So generally, the standard response is going to be always get a medical rule out. It could be that there's a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
um,
magnesium is a
yeah,
big deal.
yeah, magnesium is a very big deal. It helps relax the muscles. A lot of physical therapists give it to their patients before they do work on them, and like chiropractors also. But I'm not a doctor, so please don't start taking magnesium without consulting with your doctor.
Correct.
Um, but just getting a medical rule out to make sure that it's not coming from some deficiency. And then you might want to also get like a sleep study. Sometimes there's other physical factors that mimic anxiety, but they're purely physical. And so I'm not here to like analyze your father and your mother before ruling out anything medical. Um, I'm saying that as a joke, not literally. And then, okay, let's say it is like a mental thing, right? So then I would look at what is your sleep routine. I remember sitting in a class given by Rabbi Leib Kellerman in Israel, and he was addressing the topic of like how to get your kids to go to sleep on time. And his first thing that he tells parents is, well, what's your bedtime like? Like, what's your bedtime and when do you put yourselves to sleep? Like who's cuddling with you? Who's singing to you? Who's saying Shema with you? Like all those things, right? And he really stressed and stresses, having bedtime for adults. And so what that looks like is like just like a kid, right? We need a bedtime routine. So, and that does not necessarily involve our phones and screens because the lighting of our screens messes up with, what our bodies need as like little signs that, hey, it's time to go to sleep. So I would start to think about what are some of the things I can put into place for my nighttime routine that's going to signal to my body it's time to relax. I would completely take the pressure off of falling asleep, and I would just make my mission, I would kind of like make it my goal to just really relax, and like what is like sleep or rest or calm that rejuvenates my body, right? And so there's different types of rest that you can kind of concretize here. So is it um what is it, grow with the flow,
Yeah.
coloring,
Yeah.
right? It can be a nice warm bath. It can be listening to calming music. It can be light stretching. It can be vagus nerve exercises. I think whatever tells your nervous system, like, hey, now it's time to calm down, like, that's what we're going to do. Now, this is something that takes a long time to do. So it's not like you're going to be doing this all at once. You're going to be doing this very slowly. And if any of you have read Atomic Habits by James Clear,
Yeah.
I know definitely you're a fan, Faye.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about that, like any kind of habit formation takes minuscule steps. And so it's really about, okay, fine, if I normally am going to watch my show, like Jewish matchmaking at 11 o'clock at night,
You're killing me
right?
today.
For example.
I recommend prior to bedtime. It will definitely be done.
Exactly. Honestly, and if you're on your like 18th time watching it, fine. So instead of watching it, finishing to watch it at 11, aim to finish watching it at 10:50. And then in those 10 minutes, put one item on your list, on the agenda for that night. Not with the goal of falling asleep, but just with the goal of relaxing. You're getting yourself one step closer to your goal.
Yes.
Okay. And then as you get more and more comfortable with that step, that's when you start batching other steps and you add to that. So that's kind of my answer, my non-professional answer.
Right. No, I love that. I think that a sleep routine is like so important. And I think like we've been discussing this like offline, just how like we're very much, we emphasize having a morning routine because just as like, I think it's like an American thing as well, where it's like, go, go, go. So what's going to help you go, go, go? But we de-emphasize having a sleep routine, which is really important. I think the emphasis being on relaxing versus falling asleep was huge for me. Like, I know that when I was so pressured to sleep, sleep is one of those things. It's a natural body process. You can't force yourself to do it. You can't force yourself to authentically yawn. You can't force yourself to go to the bathroom. You can't force yourself to fall asleep. It's a process that overtakes your body essentially, and it doesn't happen from the mind. It happens from the mind completely shutting off, relaxing, releasing control, and then your body goes into a sleep. Something like that. Maybe I botched up the science there. But I think that magnesium is definitely a big player. So like, even if you're not like super deficient, checking out like what you can, if you can get to a more optimal amount of magnesium, and that you can take it before you go to bed, and that can help. I'm thinking what else. I think I once heard like you don't need as much sleep as you think you need, but also we tend to sleep a lot more than we think we slept. So like people that are like hyper focused on how much sleep they get, and then they're struggling with insomnia, they tend to underestimate the amount of sleep that they actually got. So just know that we tend to do that, and that can like take off the anxiety. Of course, taking like as much as you can, implementing these like routines and structures that are healthier. Like for me, I know that I'll try to put my phone away when I come home or about 8 o'clock. So then I know that like if I don't have my phone and I'm not eating late at night, like those are the two vices that keep you up. So if you're not eating and you don't have your phone, then like what else are you going to do? Like you're going to go to bed by hook or by crook,
Right. It's like, what else is there?
I'm sorry.
I said, what else is there? I said, you might as well.
Exactly. No, like for real. Like I do that, not because like I try not to eat late, not for dietary reasons, even though of course it's better for you because you'll sleep better and it's healthier and whatever.
Right.
But because I know that if I'm not eating, then I'm going to be going to bed a lot earlier. And if I don't have my phone, I'm going to be going to bed a lot earlier. So those are the things that I think are like important. There was something else that I had to say. Where are we at time? I think we're almost
Exercise. I know you're a big exercise fan.
Yes, but I don't think exercising is great at night. I think they say that can keep you up.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe stretching can be good.
Yeah. But having like exercise in your day can improve your sleep at night.
They say that if you exercise within the morning hours of your day, like it will tire you out and help you sleep. To relax into it. There was something else I wanted to say and I totally forgot.
Writing your thoughts down if you're feeling anxious.
Yeah, That's definitely a good idea. It wasn't my idea on my head now, but that's definitely a good idea.
I can
But
totally see you saying that.
yeah, you could just see me saying that for sure. And I think that's a great idea. I tend to journal when I journal in the morning. I just feel like it's like a fresher moment for me. But definitely, I think journaling is a good idea, and it's definitely advice that I've given. Oh, there are these. This is not what I meant to say, but this is another good point. There are these teas that are like sleepy time. I think from Yogi, soothing bedtime, caramel something. They taste okay. They're not like my favorite, but they're good enough. And they really do help. They have a lot of these like herbs in there that just like help relax you, help you sleep. I know that when I take them, I've taken them in the past, and like they definitely make you sleep deeper. Like I don't know if they like they're not like melatonin, but they're definitely good for you. So I would just say like focusing on like these little things that you can do. And the main thing I think just to underscore and emphasize is take the pressure off. Like have the routine, go through the motions that are healthy for you. Not like take the pressure off. Okay, I'm gonna binge watch, this like scary show the whole night.
Mask
Yeah,
making, yeah.
exactly. But really like do the right motions, go through the motions, and then after that take the pressure off and realize that like you don't have to sleep, you're just resting. And that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. And I think that it's also like if you try it one night and then it doesn't go well, I would not judge based on one night, like what Faye and I are talking about. And Faye, I feel like it's okay to speak for you with this, is like trying this out over many, 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 many
Correct.
days, because and then taking like the aggregate of that, into consideration for feedback. But like to not judge it based on like, oh, I tried it one night, I didn't feel relaxed. Okay, I'm hopeless.
Correct. No, it takes
Because
a
I
lot of
think
time.
anxiety can tell us like, oh no, like panic, but we don't need to listen to
Correct.
that voice.
It
It's
takes
just
a lot
one voice
of
at
time
the
to get into a
table.
sleep routine. They say
Yeah.
there's like types of sleep. There's like sleep hunger, and then there's your circadian rhythm,
Yeah.
which is like the time that you're used to getting up and the time that you're used to going to bed. And basically the idea is to match up your hunger for sleep with your circadian rhythm. And that could take like weeks to do. And I think one of the things also to help with that is to get up the same time, around the same time every day, and to go into bed around the same time every day, with an estimation of trying to get between 6 to 8 hours, being in bed for 6 to 8 hours. So even if you're not sleeping amazing, it's very ideal to get up within the normal range that you would typically get up, because if you don't, then you're constantly keeping that circadian rhythm messy, which is going to be harder for you to get into that cycle. So that's just
For sure. And I think also like the last thing I'm going to say is like educating ourselves on sleep and like understanding like our why do we want the sleep is helpful. And Ariana Huffington has a great book, The Sleep Revolution, I think it's called. And she goes through like, so many parts of her book are just on like the benefits of sleep. And sometimes that can be motivating, not in a pressurizing way, but almost like, it's like if you see on social media, like a product being advertised, you're like, ooh, like I needed that and I want that. There's an excitement around that. The book has the potential to do that for you too.
Or the opposite, like what it would do to me, just FYI, is like make me even more freak out that I'm not going to get enough. So like you have to know yourself, know thyself.
Yes.
But yeah, I like that. Like you need the motivation, but if you're on the more like extreme anxiety side of like I'm not getting enough, and then don't worry about it as much and like take the pressure off. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you go. You're late. Go.
All right, Faye, this was lovely. I will see you next week.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for everyone for joining.
Bye.